Well, it's rained pretty much all day. It's now nearly 5 o'clock at night, and it's finally stopped raining, so I thought I'd actually have a closer look at the car and show all the scabby bits and make a bit of a list of what needs to be done to it. So let's take a quick walk around it properly and see what there is to see. Start at the good corner. So this bumper is going to be replaced anyway. The other side is pretty bad. Got a slightly loose grille, which I will investigate, but I'll probably get a new one of those anyway with a new bumper. I might even go for a XK8 mesh type grille. I've seen one of those for sale fairly cheaply. We've got a good front light on this side, which is good news. This wing is pretty tidy. That's actually dirt as far as I can tell. There's no actual corrosion there. Got the makings of corrosion down at the front of the sill, but I knew about that. That's a pretty common area, that, for XJS and XK8 owners. That will need attention. Driver's door has seen some paint. I think you can see it's a bit wet still, but just above that big gouge, the paint colour changes, and you can see on the shut as well. Not sure what to do about that at the moment. Maybe a new door if I can find one cheaply, or I think maybe I'll just get it painted or paint it myself. We'll see how that goes. This window strip, aluminium strip that was on there, it was in really bad nick. I think they all are these days. There's a solution for, I think, 50 quid for both sides to put a new rubber on there, so it's not quite the same as it was when it was new. So it doesn't have this aluminium finish to it, but at least it'll look tidy, and I think that's, apart from paying mega bucks for the original kit, if you can find it, I think probably the rubber is the way forwards. We've also got some nasty corrosion up here. It's worse the other side, and I've had a look online, and I think that's a £20 fix. I think you can buy this seal for about £20. That would tidy that area up really nicely. There's not a huge amount of corrosion on the rear window, which is great news. This rear wing is pretty tidy. There's one tiny dent somewhere on it, which you probably can't see in the video. I'm just looking for it now. No, I can't see it either. It's on sort of the top surface, but you'd be hard pushed to see it, so I'm fine with that. And again, we've got something going on down there as well, which we will get sorted out. Wheels wise, it's got the 17-inch, I think they're the turbine ones, I'm not really sure, I'll look it up. The tyres are all Pirelli P0s, but they date from 2013 and they're not in the best of shape. And I know you can't get hold, or it's very difficult to get hold of the rear tyres, so it might be that an 18-inch wheel and tyre upgrade is the way forwards to kind of future-proof that. We'll see what happens there. Inside the boot, it's pretty nice. Comes with Jaguar's CD changer. I got some free CDs, which is all very good. What did I get? I got Joe Cocker, the Ultimate Collection, both CDs, which is lovely. And I also got Folk Music of Wales and that one as well. Another Welsh choral disc, which might give you some idea of who the previous owner was, or at least what nationality it might have been. It's all very exciting. Let's put that back in its slot and close that up. I also got a Stratstone gift pack in here, which has oil and a dipstick wiping cloth, which is quite entertaining. Let's have a look. There you go, dipstick, wipe, and some Castrol funnels and a hand wipe. It's a nice thing, put that back. Underneath here we've got the dreaded space saver. That's in pretty good nick. Never been used so far as I can tell, and the boot floor is very tidy. Not showing any accident damage, so that's great news. That's part of the water shedder, or is the water shedder from the broken headlamp at the front, which we'll have a look at in a sec. The tailgate itself is in pretty nice order actually, no trouble there. There's a little bit of marking on the rear bumper, which will get dealt with. This area's had a repair in the past. You can see the paintwork's just a very slightly different quality to the rest of it. It took me a while to spot it, and I'm actually okay with that. That can stay as it is. Moving over to this side, I did spot a tiny bit of corrosion up here somewhere. I can't remember where it was now. It might be. I might just be being too picky actually, it's pretty good. Favourite places for the XK8s to go. Both rear lights are undamaged, which is lovely. We've got that monstrosity to deal with, which I'm hoping will heat up and push out to some degree. There's a scratch in the paint which probably won't polish out, and there's also scratches in here, so even if we do push it out, that will need some paint. It hasn't quite damaged the rear light, which is nice to see. But it's unsightly, but it's not a big problem. I'm not too bothered about that. We've got a little bit of corrosion setting in down here. Another favourite place for the XK, and underneath as well. That one's sorting out, wants some frawl and undersealing. This wheel is not too bad. It's got a bit of repair down there. Could be related to the accident, might not be, who knows. I've looked up on Google Street View where this car used to be parked, so I got the previous owners at least a parking permit to find out where it was parked. And this side of the car was exposed to sunlight, so you can see these centre caps didn't fare very well in that. A bit more down there needs sorting out. The other centre cap on the other wheel is just as bad. Passenger door is absolutely beautiful. The only really good panel on the car apart from the other front wing, so we're happy with that, which is lovely. Mirror's got a tiny bit on it, but you know, who cares. And then coming down to the only other really big significant bit of damage is this front corner. So that's going to necessitate a new wing and a new bumper and a new light. That's just a replacement lens. This is damaged to the bonnet. I'm hoping I can push that back out. Well, I can push that back out and get that properly painted. I got a quote for a new bonnet, albeit an XKR one, that's £400. So I want to avoid spending £400 on that panel if I can avoid it. We might see if there are cheaper XK8 ones. I think the XKR ones do command a premium. So moving to the inside, I did have a problem where the windows, this window actually in particular, every time I opened it, it would go down, but then it wouldn't go back up again, and so you'd end up with the window gradually creeping down every time you opened it, which I think is responsible for the smell of damp. There's a slight musty smell inside the car. And I found out that if you just turn the ignition on, press and hold the down until you hear a click, and then press and hold the up till you hear a click, that resets the window position, and now it's working perfectly. I think it's a symptom of being low, the battery being low on charge. So I'm pleased to have fixed that little problem. When I got the car also, it had a bit of blue tack over the warning light for the airbag. I've since read that actually the light coming on there is a feature of the car. It's not a warning that anything's wrong. So I've taken the blue tack off, and that's fine. Inside, it's actually good news. The seats are beautiful. Nothing really on this bolster at all to complain about. Needs a clean, but that's not a difficult thing. The electrics all seem very happy. The AC doesn't work. I thought it did, but it doesn't, sadly. Got my locking wheel nut key, which is lovely. Cigarette lighter doesn't work. We'll get that fixed. That's an easy job. And the transmission's lovely. I've not noticed the sport light coming on actually. I just noticed there's a little LED light there. I pressed it and it seemed to work fine. The car was changing up a lot less quickly, so it was holding the gear more with the sport button down, so it was definitely working, but the light didn't come on, so I'll investigate why that is. In the back, classic XK8 rear seats, about as good as a one-legged man at a backside kicking competition. Buckets of legroom, as you can tell. Even less with the seat down, but they're in good nick. never really been sat in as far as I can tell. People always do, don't they? But I can't see any scratches or scuffs on them, and I shouldn't think anyone really wants to sit back there, so I'm pleased with that. The headlining is not bad, actually. The driver's side, so you can see it's beginning to separate a little bit just up there. I think if I just pull that seal round it, we might actually win there. The other side, let me take it around to the driver's side. I think that's the lumbar support you can hear there, I'm disarming. We've got a peel here, so I might end up actually replacing the whole headlining or recovering the whole headlining. It's a job I've done on several cars and I quite enjoy doing it. It's not a difficult job at all. The carpets are in lovely condition. If you lift up these over carpets, it's almost brand new down there. Excuse me, that will clean up very nicely indeed. I'll just get the key out of my pocket if it's here. Oh no, the key's inside unfortunately. I won't start it up now. I'll save that for later on. But it starts beautifully. I'm very pleased with the engine. Auto dimming mirror. It hasn't got very many options, it hasn't got the heated seats, which is unfortunate. I think it's got a fairly basic stereo that does have the CD changer, of course. I quite like the adjuster on the steering column. You've got your light adjuster there as well for the dash illumination. And let's have a quick look under the bonnet. Where the damage is down there. You can see the gaffer tape that I used to get it home with yesterday. It's a bit dusty, a bit murky, no obvious leaks, and the car hasn't used any fluids. It's quite tidy under there really, so I look forward to cleaning that and making a nice job of it. And that's about all there is to say for now. So the bits to source immediately are these door strips, the seals for the tops of the doors, got a bumper, headlight, front wing. We'll query the bonnet and see if we can get away with repairing that. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem personally, but we'll see. We'll also think about what we're going to do with the wheels, whether they stay and I'll just put new tyres on them if I can find them, or if we go 18 inch, not sure. So there we are, one Jaguar XK8 in slightly knackered condition, but a good starting point I think.